I'm Anil Kumar. Welcome to my series on mixtures. We have had very interesting questions in this series, but probably this is the best. You will be reminded of your experiences and you'll also learn many concepts as we go along solving this particular question. Let's go through this question first. High quality Scotch is being produced from single malt whiskey. 8 imperial gallons are drawn from the oak barrel full of single malt whiskey and then filled with water. This operation is performed 3 more times. The ratio of the quantity of whiskey now left in the barrel to that of the water is 16:65. How much whiskey did the barrel originally had? So that's the big question for you. Okay, now let's see how to solve this kind of equation. Now we'll not derive the formula here, but we will use the concept which we learned about compounding things, right? So compound interest formula is something which we can utilize here to solve such a question. So in compound interest, the final amount A actually depends on the principal amount P, and whatever is the rate of growth, it is added to that rate of growth. So, and then normally we say it is adding, right, to the power of the number of times we compound it, correct? So this is the basic which actually gives us a clue to solve this question. So we'll not get into exactly finding this particular formula, but we'll start from here. Okay, so the question here is that we know the rate at which we are drawing things out. We are taking away 8 imperial gallons are drawn from the oak barrel full of single malt whiskey and then filled with water. That means the total volume remains same, whatever it was. Now that total volume was pure single malt whiskey, right? So basically we are starting from somewhere which was pure malt whiskey. So we'll say initial volume. Let it be X, right? So that is pure whiskey. So we started with this value of P, which is X. Now what are we doing? We are actually taking away some quantity, which is 8 imperial gallons, and we are filling it back by water. So we are keeping this quantity X constant, right? So in our case, what really happens is that our formula gets modified and it could look something like this, that this amount will be the starting amount P. We have to now figure out what this rate is. Since we are taking away, we are actually decreasing, right? So it is minus decreasing by 8, but we are keeping this amount, initial amount, which I should write P. Okay, let me write P. Same, right? That to the number of times the operation is done. Does make sense, right? So that is the concept which we are going with. Perfect. So in our case, the value of P is X, right? So which we need to figure out. Perfect. Now, we are given something. We are given that this operation is performed 3 more times. That means the value of N, is 3 plus 1, which is 4. 3 more times. So once you did it, thrice you again did it, right? So 3 more times. So that means the value of N is 4. We have already figured out, we started with P. The initial pure value is X, right? Now it says the ratio of quantity of whiskey now left in the barrel to that of the water is 16 to 65%. So that gives us A value. So what is the A value for us? Well, A is 16 out of 16 plus 65. So you could write A as 16 out of 16 plus 65 of the X value. So now what is left is only this ratio. we started with X, but now we have only 16 parts of whiskey. The rest is water. So the total amount is their addition, right? So that is the amount left, A. So let's figure out how much this is. So it is 16 over 16 plus 65. 6 plus 5 is 11. And then 7 and 1, 8. 81. So these numbers are carefully chosen so that you could do this question without a calculator, right? So remember, we have to do this question without calculator, right? So when you have whiskey problems, then you don't really need calculator. You can work out the solutions very fast. That is what we're going to do now, right? So let's see. Can we solve this question? I think we got everything here. Now we could solve this question. So we know the value of A is 16 over 81. And we are going to definitely use this particular formula, which we kind of derived from our existing knowledge of compounding, right? So what we get here is the value of A should be 16 over 81, and that should be equal to P is what we need to figure out, X times 1 minus 8 over X to the power of 4, right? So that becomes our formula. Perfect. So let's solve this. Sorry, I didn't multiply this with X. It has to be X times, right? So times X, so this times X, correct. So when you see this, you could simplify this. This X at least gets cancelled. So it is slightly simpler. We have 16 and 81. Here there is power of 4. So see, 16 is 2 to the power of 4, right? And 81 is 3 to the power of 4. That is what I mentioned. We have taken the value so that it's easy for us to calculate, right? So, and here what do we have? 1 minus 8 over X. That is what we have, right? So 1 minus 8 over X, okay, to the power of 4. Okay, so we have 1 minus 8 over X to the power of 4. Now if I take fourth root, then I get 2 over 3 equals to 1 minus 8 over X. Does it make sense to you? So we took the fourth root, right? So at this stage, what did we do? Well, we took the fourth root, right? So fourth root, both sides. So that power of 4 vanished and simplified our numbers. So 2 over 3 equals to 1 minus 8 over X. Now we can easily solve this. So we have 8 over X as equal to 1 minus 2 over 3. See the beauty of calculations. So we have 8 over X as, so we get 3 minus 2, or let me write one more step, which is 1 over 3, right? So cross multiply, so we get 24 equals to X. So that gives you the answer. So initially we had 24 imperial gallons of pure single malt whiskey, right? So our answer here is 24 imperial gallons, right? So that is what we started with. So I hope you understand and appreciate the strategy of solving a question without calculator, and also understanding how this compounding interest formula was applied to solve such a question. So whenever you have a case of repeated dilution, you could actually use this strategy and solve very effectively. I hope it makes sense. Feel free to write your comment, share your views, and if you like and subscribe to my videos, that'd be great. Thanks for watching and all the best.